Football has a unique way of lifting an entire nation, capturing our wildest dreams in 90 minutes. But on the 11th of July 2026, the football fraternity across South Africa and the entire continent ground to a painful, devastating halt. Jayden Adams, just 25 years old, a rising star who had only weeks prior stood on the grandest stage of them all, at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, was suddenly gone. The news sent immediate shockwaves through the sporting community. How could a young man with the world at his feet, possessing a blend of unmatched humility and rare technical brilliance, be taken from us so soon? Today, we look back not just at the heartbreaking tragedy of his passing, but at the remarkable journey of a kid from Cloetsville who dared to dream and achieved greatness before his final whistle. As the news broke, tributes immediately poured in from the highest offices of both the state and global football leadership. The South African Football Players Union, SAFPU, was among the first to confirm and mourn the loss of one of their brightest members. Political leaders, including South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, publicly expressed deep sorrow, noting that the country had lost an outstanding young sportsman who carried national pride on his shoulders. The roots of a champion, from Cloetsville to professional debut. To understand the legacy Jayden left behind, we have to go back to where it all began, Cloetsville, Stellenbosch. Born and raised in a tight-knit community, Jayden's relationship with the ball started on the local pitches with Glen Eagles FC. Even as a young boy, his vision on the field was different. He saw spaces others couldn't. He manipulated the ball with a maturity that defied his age. It wasn't long before his immense talent caught the eye of Cape Town Spurs, then known as Ajax Cape Town. But his true footballing destiny lay right back at home with Stellenbosch FC. In a historic milestone for the Cape Winelands outfit, Jayden Adams became the first ever academy graduate to earn a senior professional contract with Stellenbosch FC. This wasn't just a win for Jayden. It was a beacon of hope for every young kid kicking a ball on the streets of Cloetsville. He proved that the path from the academy to the lights of the Premier Soccer League was real. Making his senior debut at just 19 years old during the 2020/21 season, Jayden didn't just fill a spot on the roster, he demanded the game revolve around him. Across 139 appearances for Stellies, he transitioned from a promising teenager into one of the most tenacious, composed, and respected central midfielders in South African football. The pinnacle of his time with Stellenbosch arrived in 2023, where he played an instrumental role in helping the club lift the Carling Knockout Cup. It was the club's first major piece of silverware, and Jayden's fingerprints were all over it. He had given his hometown club everything he had, global statements and institutional tributes. Jayden's impact wasn't just local. His passing reverberated to the highest echelon of the sport. FIFA President Gianni Infantino issued a deeply touching statement, emphasizing how heavily the global football community felt this tragedy. Infantino stated, "I am so incredibly sad to hear that Jayden Adams has passed away just weeks after featuring in his nation's historic World Cup campaign. He will be sorely missed. My thoughts and condolences, as well as those of everyone at FIFA and the global football community, are with his family, friends, and teammates." The Confederation of African Football, CAF, echoed this profound grief, acknowledging his rapid rise on the continent. In an official public tribute, CAF simply and powerfully stated, "Football has lost one of its own." The South African Football Players Union stood in absolute solidarity with the family, noting that his stellar rise inspired young athletes across the nation. His club, Mamelodi Sundowns, and rivals like Kaizer Chiefs suspended media activities to express their shock and join the Adams family in mourning, ultimate stage, and deep character. Before his tragic passing, Jayden had reached the absolute summit. Moving to Mamelodi Sundowns in January 2025, he helped anchor the team through 67 matches, successfully clinching the Betway Premiership and the historic 2025/26 CAF Champions League trophy. Then came June 2026, the FIFA World Cup. Jayden earned his place in the Bafana squad, appearing in 3 critical matches during South Africa's historic run to the knockout stages, starting against Mexico and Czechia. But the true measure of Jayden's character didn't just show in his precise passing. It showed in his profound resilience. Just hours before South Africa was set to face Czechia, Jayden received heartbreaking news. His grandmother, Jayden Adams, who had raised him, had passed away back home. Faced with an unimaginable wave of personal grief, Jayden made a profound choice. He chose to put on the national jersey and play for his country. South Africa's Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton Mackenzie, captured this beautifully in his official tribute, saying, "I shall carry forever the humble, appreciative response he gave me. That he chose to wear the national jersey and give his all for his country in that moment speaks to a depth of character and professionalism well beyond his years, and it reflects the caliber of young man South Africa has lost." The final farewell and eternal legacy. On Thursday, the 16th of July 2026, the community of Stellenbosch, alongside the entire South African football family, gathered to say their final, painful goodbyes. Organised by Mamelodi Sundowns and his representation agency, 2 distinct memorial services were held at the Stellenbosch Town Hall to accommodate the massive outpouring of love and grief. The morning service, running from 9 a.m. to midday, was a private, highly emotional ceremony. It allowed close family, intimate friends, and his grieving Sundowns and Stellenbosch teammates to weep and comfort one another in private. Later that afternoon, at 5 p.m., the doors were thrown wide open to the public. Thousands of supporters filed into the hall, standing before his portrait and framed jerseys, celebrating a local boy who became a king on the international pitch. Jayden Adams left us far too soon, leaving a void in midfield and a deeper ache in our hearts. But as FIFA, CAF, and millions of fans have reminded us, a legacy like his cannot be erased by death. Rest in peace, Jayden Adams. You wore the jersey with pride, you fought the good fight, and the world will never forget you.